Joe Biden had eagerly seized on Fat Ass 25 pulling out of the negotiations with the White House with the House Democrats on an emergency pandemic relief bill as more evidence for the Democratic candidates' closing argument in the final months of the campaign that Fat Ass 25 doesn't care about working Americans. He never did. He turned his back on the small businesses that are struggling to keep their doors open. He turned his back on the firefighters and police officers and other first responders who depended on state and local government budgets that are strained to the breaking point. Biden said in a written statement released one of these Tuesdays that just passed, he turned his back on that. Basically, Fat Ass 45 turned his back on every single worker whose job hasn't come back yet and who are left to wonder when they'll get the break they deserve. He turned his back on families struggling to pay rent, put food on their table, and take care of their kids. Hours earlier, Fat Ass 45 sent U.S. markets tumbling by announcing he was directing the Treasury Secretary, the white supremacist Steve Mnuchin, who he had tasked with negotiating a compromise with the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to suspend talks until after the election. Nancy Pelosi is asking for $2.4 trillion and to bail out poorly run, high crime Democratic states. That's what basically Fat Ass 45 called it. Money that is no way related to COVID-19. Um, Basically, Fat Ass 45 says that he's instructed the representatives to stop negotiating until after the election when immediately he loses. They will still be able to pass the stimulus bill even after he loses that focuses on hardworking Americans and small businesses. Something that 45 doesn't care about. He doesn't care about hardworking Americans and small businesses. He he has asked um he has asked Moscow Mitch not to delay but to instead focus full time on approving the outstanding nominee to the United States Supreme Court, the dumb cunt Amy Coney Barrett. The economy is not doing very well. The stock market is at record levels. It's not. Um, Jobs are coming back in record numbers, which they're not, and we are leading the world in economic recovery, which we're not. And the worst is still yet to come. Um, Fattest 45's apparently impulsive move baffled the political observers who saw a deal as his best hope to get past the COVID-19 catastrophe by taking credit for sending relief payments to voters ahead of the November 3rd election. Instead, Fattest 45 trails Biden by a growing margin in most polls, and it went out of his way to take responsibility for the collapse of the talks. The fat ass's move also mystified Republicans in tough races for re-election, which is such as Senator Susan Collins of Maine. Waiting until after the election to reach an agreement on the next COVID-19 relief package is a huge mistake, Collins told reporters on Tuesday. With the U.S. jobs deficit still at nearly 11.5 million jobs lost since the start of the pandemic, Pelosi wasted little time in lashing out at the fat ass's decision. Today, once again, Fat Ass 45 showed his true colors, putting himself first at the expense of the country with the full complicity of the GOP members of Congress. She said in a written statement, walking away from coronavirus talks demonstrates that Fat Ass 45 is unwilling to crush the virus as is required by the HEROES Act. He shows his contempt for science, his disdain for our heroes in healthcare, first responders, sanitation, transportation, food workers, teachers, and others, and he refuses to put money in workers' pockets unless his name is printed on the check. Senate Majority Leader Moscow Mitch, who's a Republican from Kentucky, had told Capitol Hill reporters that he approved of Fat Ass 45's move to kill negotiations before the election and to focus solely on appointing the dumb cunt Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. I think his view was that they were not going to produce a result and that we needed to concentrate on what's achievable, Moscow Mitch had said. Earlier in the day, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell encouraged Congress to spend big on the coronavirus relief for American families, and Pelosi included that message in her statement. Currently, the White House is in complete disarray, Pelosi said in her statement. Sadly, they are rejecting the urgent warnings of the Fed Chairman Powell today that that too little support would lead to a weak recovery, creating an unnecessary hardship for households and businesses. Over time, household insolvencies and business bankruptcies would rise, harming the productive capacity of the economy and holding back wage growth. By contrast, the risks of overdoing it seem, for now, to be smaller. Even if policy actions ultimately prove to be greater than needed, they will not go to waste. Having spent the day in his private residence in the White House, Fat Ass 45 seemed to miss the meaning behind Powell's words, retweeting a portion of them with the accompanying message true. Biden, meanwhile, made clear that, in his view, blame for the failure to reach a deal rested solely on the fat ass, saying fat ass 45 never even really tried to get a deal for these Americans. Not once did he bring Republicans and Democrats together in the Oval Office, or even on the phone or by Zoom, to get a relief package that would help working people and small businesses in this country. Not once in the month since the White House passed a relief package in May has he stepped up to even lead. Yeah, but that's because fat ass 45 isn't a leader. He's just a squatter. But if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Rambin Mike, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening.